Hello and welcome to the Backroom Crew podcast. In this portion of the podcast, we'll be going over What's the Deal. And for this week's What's the Deal, I thought I'd go into a little bit of, I guess, what we all do, what we all, partake in our lives on sometimes a weekly, daily basis. And no, I'm not talking about that, you perverts. But this one has to do with kind of an addiction, I guess. Stop it. Stop it. So, I guess within the last, I say 10 years, we used to download shows from the internet, sometimes legally, sometimes illegally, and we used to make sure we have the whole season, and we would, as, I guess young adults, watch the whole season right then and there as soon as we downloaded it, or we save it for later and we watch it, or we do like me and watch like 1 or 2 episodes from it and then never watch it again because I either forget or don't have time or just, push it off. Or I watch the whole series right there and I become an instant fanboy because that's how we do. Regardless, binge watching is something that we all do, I guess, sometimes. I mean, heck, we even have a show about it. The Binge Otaku aired Mondays on YouTube at brcguys.com. So, basically, binge watching things from anime to TV shows to, I guess, movie series would be the most, the hardest one because you gotta sit there for, over 4 hours sometimes. I remember one time we binge watched Lord of the Rings and we were there literally all night until 6 a.m. Yeah, it was long.
It was a good time.
Oh yeah. So my what's the deal for today is what's the deal with binge watching? Why do we as people like it so much, prefer it over watching stuff serially? I'm going to go ahead and start this one off. I have to say I like binge watching more so than watching an episode weekly or anything like that because of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z ruined me because I would come home from school every day and they would delay the heck out of Dragon Ball Z. They play it, have a short season of a couple of episodes and then be back with more Dragon Ball Z in a few weeks. And I'm I gotta wait a few weeks to see when Goku's gonna lay the hands on Frieza. And I didn't have internet at this time. I didn't have a reliable computer. Some of my friends, they were yeah, man, you can watch Dragon Ball Z on this station and everything like that. I'm for real? So I turned that station and it is the Buu Saga. So he's not even fighting Frieza. And it's in Spanish. So how am I gonna watch this? You prick. Why are you gonna tell me that Dragon Ball Z is up here and it's in Spanish and it's a whole new saga that I don't know what's going on? I mean, the music...
Because the Spanish love their Dragon Ball Z, though.
Exactly.
They're up on that.
Oh, yeah, they do. So, yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball was one of the things that turned me off of watching stuff weekly or whatever. I'd rather just wait for the whole series or a whole season to come out, watch the whole thing right then and there in the afternoon or night that I don't have anything to do the next day, and I enjoy it because it's I get a whole complete story when you watch a season. It's it's there, and it's just so more convenient than watching stuff weekly because I hate being left on cliffhangers for that stuff. Cliffhangers suck. I mean, it's very good writing, but if you're going to show me a tease for the next episode or something that's going to happen, a major plot point in the next episode at the end of this episode, I'm going to be oh, well, I have to watch the next episode now because I don't know whether Barry's going to be able to run again.
Oh, snap.
It's you show him that, I got to know. Come on. So, yeah, I guess that's my major thing. I prefer binge watching, and I think binge watching anything is my preference over, watching stuff weekly. Andre, how do you feel about binge watching? What's the deal with binge watching with you?
I mean, I'm weird in that I watch most of my stuff on the internet anyway, which means that 9 times out of 10 it's the complete thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm just used to it. It's because that same thing with you. Back when I was in middle school, when Toonami was airing, I never got to see it because I had Taekwondo lessons.
Yeah.
And since we didn't have a DVR, guess who missed almost everything? This guy.
Yeah.
So that also ties into the reason why I tend to just, if I either give it like 1 or 2 episodes to catch me, and I drop it, or I watch the entire thing. Because I never grew, like, back when habits like that would form, I was busy throwing punches at nobody and learning a useless skill.
I mean, it's cool though. I wish I would have went to it. I wish I would have kept up with karate.
I mean, you could always go back. You could always do the kickboxing thing.
I could,
but my whole thing is that if you're not sparring against somebody, then you're not actually learning.
That is true. That is true.
You gotta hit somebody, and you gotta feel the flesh like ripple from the impact. Because if you're just like punching a bag, then you're not actually learning. Because it's all about how you also get hit, not just how you hit.
Or you could go to a bar one night, get drunk, and then just start willing on people. Same effect. It's only that you'll probably end up getting arrested though. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about legal beating on people.
Arrested with your pants down to your ankles.
And you owe the bar like $400 in drinks. And really all you had were two bottles of beer and I think a shot.
Right.
But you absolutely demanded to get served in the VIP room that day. But no, seriously though, I'm of either mind. I honestly don't really mind either way. It's either it holds me or it doesn't. If it holds me, then I'm gonna want to get everything I can at that moment, because if I have the free time, why not? And if it doesn't, then I'm not gonna pick it up again.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. That kind of bums me out because things like when Attack on Titan Season 2 finally launched, and I remember being super hype about Attack on Titan Season 1, but I'm over it. Like, there's so much entertainment nowadays that literally it has to be like, it's one of those things where it's like it has to be right now, otherwise I could care less. Because there's something else just as interesting, maybe building on the traits that were in that show, that filled that spot.
Yeah. I can see that.
Ruby's new season. Sorry.
Oh, I saw that movie had a new season coming out.
Yeah.
How was the first episode?
I didn't catch it yet.
So why are you trying to hype it up so much?
Because it's... Anyway,
No, curious.
I was going to lead that into what I was going to talk about. Because you guys are just like so for binge watching right now.
Okay.
Oh, you're again? You don't like binge watching?
I think he just wants to be opposing to it, just to be opposed to it.
I don't know if I'm for it. I'm just neutral to it. It's just kind of like whatever fits the schedule, and binge watching tends to fit a schedule more than waiting a week for them to slowly put out episodes.
I hear what you're saying.
If I can get the entire season in one go instead of waiting 15 weeks for them to drop the entire thing, why not?
Yes, indeed.
So, how do you disagree with us, Wes? Or agree with us? Go ahead.
Because I like to punish myself. I've been a naughty boy. And so I have to now wait for the next week.
Stop.
No, I feel like binge watching is not a bad thing. I do feel like people abuse the binge watching though. Like, it kind of leads into what Andre was just talking about people watching a lot of entertainment. Like, entertainment is just so freeform that you don't even have to try in order to get a decent series to carry you for a good couple of nights while you watch like the full thing. And for a show to come out, i.e. like Game of Thrones or anything, and you have to wait for it weekly or bi-weekly or even sometimes monthly, it seems like it's a hassle but at the same time, it does leave you with something. It feels a little more structured. It makes it feel a little bit more full. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm watching a series and I can't watch the next episode until next week, that gives me something to talk to people about. So it makes me feel a little more like I have something to carry into a conversation outside of someone already ruining the series for everybody else because it's already over.
Ladies and gentlemen, the extrovert.
I like to talk to people, man. No, but
I get paid to talk to people.
Oh, okay.
Just
throwing that out there.
The only reason why I talk to y'all is because I like y'all. Everybody else can go burn.
Oh my god. Oh man. No, but I think that as a series, or for a series, to be able to maintain itself for a series, like a legit series that you have to wait for, it says something about the content that's in it, especially if you can get yourself, like if you can sit down, get yourself to watch it, you know, plan out watching it. And plus, not to mention, services like Hulu allowing you to be able to watch it if you're unable to catch it on a DVR or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, it it fits, but it kind of allows itself to not be just thrown out there. Netflix, they'll release a whole season and you can binge watch the heck out of it. That's what they've been doing with a lot of the series that they put up there so far.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I like them, though, because I can get the entire thing at once in chunks that I can digest rather than waiting for a week so I can talk to George about that thing that happened in the office, because fuck George.
But you say that, but I'm George. I like to talk about this stuff, man. It's like you catch one episode and I can be on the same level with you about what happened, and then we can both be excited about it.
But did you see that part where he got the Dragon Ball powers? Wait, but I'm... What?
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you're behind.
You're behind us. We don't want anything to do with you.
But see, it's like a different thing though, because like when you can watch an entire season, like this is like what we do here, where we sit down and watch like an entire anime from start to finish.
Yeah, we do that.
That's binge watching, but it's cool because you're doing it with a group that you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult. It's the whole socializing at the office thing that I'm not too fond of.
Okay, so maybe it is just me. Maybe I like to chain myself to a bed. He's not a water cooler type of guy. Yeah, maybe I just like to get by whips and just whip myself in the back while watching some weird series. But, you know, I can accept that. And I think it's just a niche thing now. Some people just don't like to sit around and binge a bunch of stuff. And this is coming from the guy that sat and binged one full season of American Horror Story about a few days ago. So, yeah.
Which season?
Yes, I was there.
This was the
Roanoke.
The Roanoke one, yeah.
So that's like 5?
6.
6?
I think it was 6.
Yeah.
Again, man, I feel so far behind with that, but there's no impetus for me to pick it back up again. I stopped at season 2 and I was like, man, this season 2 is garbage.
It was, wasn't it? I just couldn't.
Asylum? Dude, the Asylum was all over the place. Like the first one about the house, that was so tied to the house. It was so good. And then Asylum was just like, there's a serial killer, and there's aliens, and there's racists, and there's psychology, and there's Nazi mutants, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, season 6. Yeah, season 6. Yeah, it's like, it went so many things in it. But, I don't know, this one with, the latest one with 6, I can see the theme that they were going for, and it made sense. It just got, like, it combined like a mixture of, what's that series? Paranormal Activity? It combined that with it, and it just made it like, well, okay, this is not going to end like season 1 where everyone was murdered in the house and they end up living in the house as ghosts and having ghost babies and ghost Christmases and stuff like that. This is going to be like that.
It was a lot more blood in this.
A lot more blood, a lot more evisceration, a lot more weird things with pigs.
Yeah. It was more uncomfortable, and I appreciated the series.
I don't know, like, over reliance on blood effects?
No, it wasn't.
For...
It wasn't over reliance on the blood itself. What we mean by more blood, it wasn't like how the first season where it was a lot of dialogue between the humans and the ghosts. It was like legit. These ghosts want something, and they're going to murder you if they don't get it. And they murdered people.
Yes.
Like a lot of people. Like, a lot of people got dead.
A lot of people got dead.
Yeah,
like it's a sickness. Man, I got that dead though. I'm not fit to come to work today.
They did, man.
Like I'm in this coffin right now, and it's so comfortable, dude. I just don't. I'm fit to stay here right now.
I've been to stay here for a few 100 million. You know what? Just go ahead. It's fine.
It's fine. Just put me in the ground. It's good.
But it was the series was pretty good. It really makes me still want to go back and watch
3.
Yeah, 3 Coven.
Is 3 Coven? Or I thought 3 was Sideshow.
No, 4 was Freak Show.
Alright.
4 was Freak Show, 5 was Hotel, and 6 was Roanoke.
Mm.
Yeah.
How was Coven? Was Coven good?
Coven's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just want to see Kathy Bates going against Angela Bassett in a witch war. That just sounds awesome.
But it wasn't like Kathy was the witch. She was just the byproduct of her witchcraft.
Alright, and is this taking place in New Orleans?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, good lord. We got Papa Shango level.
Yeah, it was like, yeah. It was good.
And then Hotel I kind of want to watch because it's got Lady Gaga.
It was vampires.
Vampires?
It was vampires.
I mean...
What kind of vampires?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a
Are we
masquerade.
talking like...
No.
We're
It
talking
was
about,
more like... It was like... God.
We're talking about True Blood, Anne Rice, or...
More so Anne Rice. Not True Blood.
But Anne Rice is very much a masquerade type.
But it wasn't as masquerade.
It was like... was it modern day Anne Rice, you think?
Like,
Yeah,
we're talking about Interview with
sickness. We're talking about a sickness, and it infected these people like a few, 100 years ago, and now they're just walking around chilling, and I don't know. It's just like they were basing it off of past relationships between the different vampires, the ghosts in the house, in the hotel.
Ha! Please tell me this takes place in California.
It does.
Hotel California.
They played. That's the very first song they played.
No, did you ever listen to the lyrics of Hotel California?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically talking about vampires.
That's
drugs, but vampires.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. No, but
I mean, of course, yeah, drugs, but still
using drugs in the very
but
first
still
song.
vampires too.
Yeah, it's all the same thing.
I mean, just as
drug users are vampires,
but
pine cones are grenades.
I guess to get back to it, do you think that you're going to watch Colt when it comes?
That'd be really good. Like drug dealers using drugs to become vampires.
Oh hell no! What the fuck? But yeah, I was gonna say, do you think you'll binge watch Colt when it's finished, or do you think you'll start watching
I wanted to start watching it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they make it kind of difficult, especially if you don't have cable to watch it. So I'll probably just catch it when it comes out.
I'm just saying it's cheaper too. If you just have if you get like a decent cable connection for like one person, and you're that mid package that like 30 down, 10 up, you can stream and then get like a $10 Hulu or Netflix or whatever. That's decent right there. That'll get you.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah. But I would I love how they will bring in characters from previous seasons and have them still going playing as characters or whatever.
That's a good style to have. Yeah. It keeps the trope there. Even though it's characters die off, you can still have your actors come back.
And it makes sure that Evan Peters has a permanent job.
Oh snap!
Yes.
Which one's Evan Peters?
Quicksilver.
Ah,
he was the
he was the kid in He was also the
Gimp suit.
latex suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gimp Man. So, all right. I guess overall,
if you want to watch his series,
is that
then you can just post it to your page. You know.
Is that like I've noticed a thing, and like you can totally cut this out because you probably should cut this out, but I've noticed that incest is a really, really big.
But okay, so I guess overall consensus would be like,
don't binge watch. It's terrible.
He says don't binge watch. I say do binge watch, and Andre says sometimes binge watch, sometimes don't. But doesn't
do
really
what
matter.
you want because it ultimately doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Just come in and watch TV.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Binge watch that though. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Binge watch that.
Have you finished that season yet?
Huh?
Have you finished Rick and Morty?
Oh no. I was gonna catch it this week because I was busy last week.
Oh
like
god, you still haven't. We're gonna be like, it's gonna be 20 years from now, and the show's gonna
that's
be
when you're gonna show up
over.
with Pickle Rick, and everybody's just like, "What are you talking about?"
Look, for real.
I remember
With the way,
my
with all the
granddad
stuff
said-
with all the stuff that's been going on, gotta let the hype die down a little bit and then get into it.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know, and plus, like again, I'm an introvert. I don't talk about stuff that much except
BB,
with you guys.
You old black guy. You talk about that. Old
I mean,
Rick.
and plus, all we're going to talk about is basically theories of how this is that and this is this. We're not going to talk about, how funny stuff was.
No, I really want to know if they're actually dropping the current plot line to pick up with Evil Morty next season.
They're not going to do anything structured like that because it's Rick and Morty. I mean, they. Really,
I think they. I honestly am coming to think that they can.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be too straightforward. Like that show literally resides on being wacky and.
I mean, so did Adventure Time, but the lore episodes are like amazing.
Yeah, but even so, we still didn't get a solid resolution to the Lich situation.
What are you talking about? It's in the baby.
Right, but I mean, even though they still show that the baby still has a tie to the Lich, it still hasn't done anything.
Yeah, because the baby itself is a mitigating force. It makes for a good container. It's like the Naruto situation. You stick the big demon fox in a small baby, and all of a sudden the big demon fox kind of mellows out because he's in the kid's head for some... I don't know how that works. Usually evil forces don't mellow out when you stick them in small children. It kind of just twists and warps the kid.
Omen.
rather than the demon itself going, you know what, people aren't bad. No, the demon should be like, man, isn't that guy a shitheel? Don't you just wish you could make his eyes melt out of his head? Yes, actually I do. Watch this. Stick your hands out. Boom. His eyes just melt out of his freaking head. Isn't that amazing? He's like, yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's how it starts. Not, man, I'm trapped in here, and this guy's just borrowing my powers constantly to save people. And these people are assholes. They're all assholes. That dude is literally a serial killer. He murdered his own family. You want to save him? What is the show? What are you? They put me in an actual idiot.
Oh my God. Believe it!
Wow.
But, yeah.
This guy's a murderer. He just killed his family. We have to save him for the village. God dang it, man.
You're a village full of assassins. You should be utilizing me. I can literally raise mountainsides.
Nah, son. Do what we say.
Like,
stop it.
So I understand why they're doing that. The baby's innocence is literally the thing that's saving everybody, and you see that it is his innocence because when the king was manipulating him, the Lich and abused him, the Lich got a chance to break free for like a half second before the kid reasserted control. But if that kid ever loses his innocence, everybody's fucked. That's it. It's period. So no, the Lich is trapped for now.
It's kind of like
that's apocalypse pending because you don't stop a force.
It's kind of like how they put Apocalypse in a kid. Like Apocalypse got reborn as a kid, and he's a reformed mutant kid now, and his best friend is Deadpool.
So decisions that were made that were terrible.
But I mean, like, no, I mean, all things change. Just because the Lich is trapped in a small creature doesn't mean that he still doesn't seek the end of all things.
Yeah.
It could just very well be that as long as that kid remains an upstanding and noble person, the Lich might be put off for a period of somewhere between 50 to 100 years.
Just because your name is Apocalypse doesn't mean you're, like, all about Armageddon and ruling the world.
Yeah.
He might just be about destroying that booty.
Exactly. Apocalypse on that bow tie. But, alright.
Bang, 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 bang.
Alright. Oh, boy. Okay. Alright. So, that has been the Backroom Crew podcast. If you like this podcast...